Pro Group Management. Workers' comp that works for you.
Welcome to Nevada Newsmakers. On the broadcast today, Reno City Councilwoman Naomi Duerr, Jim Gee of the RTC of Washoe County, and Kris Thompson with Gilman Commercial Real Estate discussing light rail. Here for the whole show, all new Nevada Newsmakers.
Take a look at Pro Group Management and see how your workers' comp requirements can be met head-on. By taking a proactive approach, Pro Group can assure that your company is meeting or exceeding state and federal standards. As you move forward in your industry, Pro Group moves with you, simplifying regulatory tasks, clearing the way so you can get the job done and look to your future success. Pro Group Management. Workers' comp that works for you.
The new year is bringing new ways to win big during the $175,000 Winter Wonderland giveaways at Tamarack Casino. Win up to $5,000 in cash every week and a top prize of $20,000 in cash during the grand finale drawing. Your good times are at Tamarack Casino.
As you know, Reno is booming. Toll's development company is helping it grow with insightful design and development, building community with every project, adding beauty, adding excitement, emphasizing our shared humanity. Reno is becoming bigger. Toll's development is helping it become better, more livable, more enjoyable. To learn more, go to tollsdevelopment.com. tollsdevelopment.com.
Like a traditional handmade basket, retail is woven into the fabric of life in Nevada. From big box to mom and pop, retail supports our communities in countless ways. Jobs for the disabled, team uniforms for kids, help for the elderly, and so much more. Retail employs over 1 in 10 workers. Retail supports Nevada, and we support retail.
RANNV.org.
This is Nevada Newsmakers with host Sam Shad, a no-holds-barred political forum. Now, from the Nevada Newsmakers broadcast headquarters, here is Sam Shad.
And back on Nevada Newsmakers, we're delighted to welcome to the program Naomi Duerr, who is on the Reno City Council in her last year.
Right.
You served 3 terms.
Good to be here.
Thank you. Jim Gee is Director of Public Transportation and Operations at RTC of Washoe County. Mm-hmm. And Kris Thompson is now, you have so many titles.
Yes, sir.
He is the Infrastructure Specialist at Gilman Commercial Real Estate.
Sure.
So pleasure to have you all here. The topic is light rail. And I wanted to start out with you, Naomi, because when I first came to Reno, a member of the city council was Florence Lenners. And Florence was quite the spokesperson for her ideas. She was actually very cool, even though some of the ideas were a little out there. But one of the things that she was excited about was rail between San Francisco and Reno to be able to cover the winter months. So rail in northern Nevada has been talked about for a long time since the gold mining era. Yeah. We also have situations in Nevada where Maryland Parkway down in Southern Nevada, the RTC of Southern Nevada decided not to do that and go with buses because the light rail was just too expensive. We've got Ivanpah to Las Vegas, the new airport that they're building down there, and MJ Maynard told me that it was just no money at this point in time for rail. So with that optimistic thought, let's talk about the potential, and I'm excited about it because I love rail, for light rail in Northern Nevada. Start out with your thoughts.
Well, you know, I've been a fan of rail. I'll say rail generally versus light rail, or the more common rail that everyone's familiar with. I just think it's a beautiful option to bring people together. We have such an employment center at the Tahoe Regional Industrial Center. Why not do it? I mean, there are challenges, you know, things like landings, things like once you get them to the place they're going, how do you distribute them to the various companies? But I really think they're all solvable.
You know, Jim, one of the things that, you know, we've talked about on this program many times over the last 20 years is, you know, the need for transportation at the Tahoe Reno Industrial Center to and from, not just Sparks, Fernley, and also Reno. And a lot of the companies there have done their own van sharing and things like that. But I know the RTC has been doing a lot of studies. So can you share what you've been studying and who's involved with those studies in terms of funding them?
So this past spring, we started a study to look at commuter rail to utilize the existing Union Pacific track that runs between Reno, Sparks, and the Tri-Center. That study was funded 50% by RTC, but 50% from Story County, from NDOT, from Panasonic, and Tesla. So it's a great mix of public and private folks looking at this issue of how do we get people from where they live, which is Reno, to where they work, which is the Tri-Center.
Okay, and is this something you're seeing across the country with public-private partnerships, or is this something that's fairly unique to our area?
It's uncommon, but it has been done before. I think universally, everyone recognizes there's a big need for transportation, that the existing corridor, which is I-80, is just simply too narrow to carry all those folks to work. And if you look at that canyon with the rail, the river, the rock formations in the interstate, there's not a lot of room to put other infrastructure in there. So that's why we have to look at the existing rail that's here today.
All right. Now, there's been discussion, even on this program, about widening I-80. Is that not enough to alleviate the situations?
I think that certainly helps, but I don't think there's one silver bullet that fixes everything. The problem is such that it's going to take multiple solutions, including potential rail, to fix getting folks to work, especially as the Tri-Center continue to grow.
And Kris, you've been on this program in various capacities, and I know you're not representing Story County in this, but you certainly have expertise in Story County. With all of these data center projects that are going in, there's going to be vast construction. How do you view this in terms of the construction?
I'm pro-rail all the way for Reno and Sparks, and then moving the workforce back and forth to Tahoe Reno Industrial Center. And I think these are the constraints. The terrain constraints are not going to go away. Our population is growing in the Washoe County, Reno, Sparks metro area. Our jobs are going to continue to grow, maybe 10, 15, 20,000 more jobs at TRI. So it kind of screams for alternative transportation availability. We have the spine, the backbone with the UP rail, and we have internal rail at TRI already in place.
Right, there's two different lines.
Two different. We have an internal line run by the Owners Association. In Story County, I mean, this is a bipartisan issue. We're bipartisan here today, but Story County has this in their master plan to talk about the future of rail, which is very exciting to me.
As you look at the different alternatives, one of the things that I know was part of the RTC study was a plan to go from South Reno into the Story County, but that one doesn't seem to have much excitement or the financing to go along with it. But going into Sparks sounds like that may be potentially the best alternative at this point.
Well, I've been representing South Reno for a decade. We redistricted, so I'm no longer the representative, but a lot of work has gone into looking at the South Meadows Parkway extension up and over the Virginia Range and into the Tri-Center. And that is a possibility, but it's very mountainous. There's lots of animals. It would be a heavy lift in terms of construction dollars. So I think focus has shifted to the Sparks, some type of Sparks connector. And frankly, I think we need just about all of it. That may come, either one may come, but I really hope that within 5 years, we do have a commuter train, that we've solved the issues and funded it and built it. And I'm concerned about how long it's going to take to widen I-80. So one of the things I'm also focused on is what do we do in the immediate future? We can't take 3 accidents a week, potential injuries and loss of life. That's not acceptable where I come from. So I really think we've got to be on this right now, either expand the van pool or get into bigger buses, whatever that looks like. But I really think this next year we've got to take some specific steps. And the reason why, we've got people in Reno that now get up at 3:30, leave by 4:30 just to get to their job by 5:30. They cannot count on the fact that the road will be open. It may be closed. And so they just can't accept those type of delays. Yeah.
Due to accidents.
Due to accidents, absolutely.
Can a train be built in 5 years?
It could. It takes a partnership with Union Pacific because they own the tracks. but you could actually have a system up and running with really minimal public investment at the beginning just to get that service moving. I think for the train to be successful, it has to be timed so that it coincides along with the construction of I-80. So folks who are experiencing the inconvenience of I-80 will be more likely to use the train. And once they get on the train, they'll figure out it's reliable, it's dependable. I can sit there and work in my seat and not have to worry about the hassle of driving. And I think they'll stay customers.
Okay, so this is one of my questions, which is RTC is for all of Washoe County, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Do you extend, say, for as far as Fernley, or do you have cooperative agreements with Fernley? Because I've thought for a long time that Fernley, and it's booming too now with that Victory Logistics Center, that we need bus service all the way from Reno, all the way out to Fernley. And it would seem that RTC would be the logical service. And your point is well made that, once you can get people onto a comfortable bus, and buses are a lot different than they were, when I rode the Greyhound in the 70s, that, with Wi-Fi and all the rest, that would be a very easy adaptation.
Yeah, it's the potential's there. I mean, RTC is funded by a combination of fuel and sales tax. And unfortunately, there's only so much money to go around. So as we look at our prioritization in terms of service, we're really focused on the residents of Washoe County and their destinations within Washoe County first. But certainly the Tri-Center is really a special district and a special unique challenge because we have 20,000 people plus that work there, the majority of which are coming from Washoe County. And so that's a big need in our community that I think it's appropriate for RTC to help address.
Kris, when you look at this, you're looking potentially, as you were saying, a doubling of the population out at TRI. That's a phenomenal amount of people.
It is a phenomenal amount of people. And, people say one of the main objections is, well, you can't have light rail in a small or mid-sized community. And I kind of defer to Jim on this, and I'll pass this off to him. But just on the looking that I've done, it looks like communities like Portland, Sacramento, Salt Lake, Buffalo, all have very highly regarded light rail programs. And light rail, the number one issue right now for people coming into TRI, and I think with Reno and Sparks going that way, is traffic and congestion and the ability to get the workforce to the job. And so if you put in place a good light rail system that is tailor-made to move workforce efficiently to the great jobs, wherever they might be, that helps bring in economic development. But I kind of maybe turn it over to Jim. Are you seeing successful programs for light rail around the country in communities of our size or thereabouts? I mean, have you guys looked at that?
So yes, there are great examples of other systems, cities about 500,000, which is where Reno Sparks is, that have great systems related to light rail and also commuter rail, which is what specifically we're talking about for the Tri-Center. I think for us to get moving, we need a good first step and to be successful with that good first step. And the biggest challenge is finding an appropriate first step. But the Tri-Center, 20,000 people, a rail line that's already there, that is a great place to start.
Okay, so one of the things that is going to have to occur is negotiations with UP. UP is a very tough negotiator. You remember the negotiations that went on with lowering the railroad tracks. Of course. That was amazing that ever occurred.
Yeah, it really is. And I mean, they're a private company, and they've had a long-term dominance across America, but particularly in the West. And they don't have really incentive to negotiate, except maybe they do. Because if they partner with us on this type of project, they will be able to do potentially some long-deferred maintenance improvements that they have needed. They will definitely potentially increase their revenue. And so what's wrong with having more customers? I mean, I think that's a win. Certainly, it's going to be a win for our local communities, and it's going to be a win, frankly, for the businesses. I mean, they're not operating in a silo. They have to understand their role in the community, and that there's externalities, and that how people get there, what their life's like, what they pay them, what their benefits are, is all matters. They're not just bodies that come to work. These are real life people with real life challenges and living their life. And the companies that are out there, as well as the governments, can all be part of that solution with UP. It can be done.
Jim, one of the things that strikes me as potential here, if the land is available, is what we're seeing with Brightline West down in Southern Nevada, where they're not just building a train station, but they've got a large amount of acreage around that to build a whole entertainment facility. What's the potential for having something like that as part of this? Because A, wouldn't it help toward financing it, and B, make it more attractive?
I think it's very high because you would give folks the ability to work and walk to the train to get to work. I mean, basically, transit-oriented development has been done all around the country. It's development around train stations, and basically, folks can live there, they can eat there, they can recreate there, and they can get to work without either having a single car or maybe just a single car household.
Okay, and Kris, development is your area.
Yes, sir. So I think it is big. I mean, again, Story County has included stations for light rail as part of their master plan, that could be and potentially is in the future. We already have great ability up and down the UP rail through Reno and Sparks for that kind of activity. And I'll just say this, I've dealt personally with UP a number of times during my many years as the project manager of TRI. And yes, you've got to call somebody in Omaha and to get anything done. Yes, they do take their time, but there will always come up things and issues where you're going to get leverage with UP and where you can bring up the conversation. So I'm confident that, over the next 5 years or 10 years, circumstances are going to come up where you can have leverage, let alone the positive stuff that Naomi mentioned.
All right, let's take a break. We'll come back much more on light rail after this timeout.
For 50 years, Nevada Heating has been keeping people comfortable in their homes. At Nevada Heating, call the Do It Right guys and get the heat back on today. Call us today and we'll fix it today. That's the Nevada Heating way. Why freeze for days on end when Nevada Heating can get your furnace fixed today? Call us today and we'll fix it today at 323-5585 or schedule us on our website at nevadaheating.com.
The trucking industry is the most resilient link in the supply chain, moving 95% of our freight in the Silver State. And while essential, the road isn't always smooth. Supply chain disruptions, rising fuel costs, and unrealistic rules and laws that hamper our ability to serve our customers and country. Our prosperity and every sector of the economy, manufacturing, mining, medicine, and food from farm to table, is tied to trucks. There's nothing without trucking.
The Nevada Builders Alliance has been protecting the interests of the construction industry for over 50 years. Our programs save members thousands of dollars every year and allow them to provide much-needed benefits to their employees. Our industry also allows Nevada to grow. If you're thinking about a career in the construction industry, reach out. And if you haven't thought of a career in construction, what are you waiting for? We are the Nevada Builders Alliance.
You're in trouble with the law. It's easy to think you'll lose everything, but there is hope. I'm attorney Orrin Johnson. Your first step is to hire a serious attorney with the experience to successfully navigate the legal system for you.
Sometimes hope means addiction treatment instead of jail, and making sure you're treated fairly.
Sometimes hope means fearless trial attorneys will stand up to the government when they get it wrong. Call or text Orrin Johnson Law.
We'll make a plan.
You'll take back your life.
This is Nevada Newsmakers.
And back on Nevada Newsmakers, we continue our conversation with Naomi Duerr, Jim Gee, and Kris Thompson. We're talking about light rail. One of the things that you mentioned here in the break that I was not aware of was that there is potential for the North Valleys of Reno to also have a line.
Yeah, I mean, incredibly critical. There's already a line out there. It's mostly used for obviously moving cargo, but very infrequently. So it's a very underutilized existing rail. When the Stonegate property came in, originally they were going to build 5,000 homes. And I said, you have to build a siding here. Rail is going right in the front of your property. Why would you not?
Well, also there's industrial there.
Well, there's tons of industrial as well. And for people wanting to go out there, they could avoid potentially having to use 395. So it goes both ways. They plan now to not have 5,000 homes, but to have a whole bunch of industrial. And that's going to require people too. And are we going to send them on 395?
Perhaps not a good idea if you go on 395 at this point in time. And for folks in Southern Nevada that are watching and listening to this program, the Apex Business Park down there is just really coming into fruition. And these are going to be issues that they're going to need to deal with as well, because the 15 is not going to be the only route for transportation. And of course, they have that huge UP Center down there in downtown Las Vegas. Talk to me about Sparks, because there's already discussion with Sparks. The line is now called the Northeast Connector Project, right? Mm-hmm. Tell us about that.
So the Northeast Connector Project is a road construction project that would connect Spanish Springs with the Tri-Center and give folks the ability to take that route instead of having to come south to I-80 and potentially get stuck in traffic on I-80. It's another outlet and another way to get to work, and it basically brings forward an option that they can use as an alternative.
Kris, one thing that always happens with any of these kind of construction projects, and we saw this with Veterans Parkway, was that you had the not in my backyard folks. And, it's really funny to look at Veterans Parkway now, because everybody that lives along that route is going, this is fabulous.
Yeah. Yes.
And there's almost no traffic on it because it's so new that people aren't even really aware that it's there until you get on it. What kind of pushback is happening with Sparks right now?
So the only pushback I saw was the legislature just failed to pass the Sparks toll road proposal. But I've dealt with Mayor Lawson a number of times in person and his people, and I know a lot of folks in Story County have. We are all for the La Posada connector that he's been proposing. It is an enlightened proposal, and it won't maybe not cure traffic, but it will greatly reduce it going forward. And you brought up the connector issues. I think from now on, whenever a connector is planned or put in place in terms of right-of-way procurement, there ought to be also right-of-way procured at that time for a rail alongside that connector. And I do know that Sparks has been looking hard at rail themselves.
Okay, and let's face it, the Tahoe Reno Industrial Center's secret to me was the fact that Roger Norman put all the infrastructure in for everything from the get-go. And so companies didn't have to wonder when it was going to get built. It was already there. Let's take another break and we'll come right back.
The points are flying out the door during the Point Party Palooza giveaways going on now at the Carson Valley Inn. Up to 1 million points given away each drawing night. And over 1 million in points guaranteed during the grand prize point explosion. Get in on the action at the Carson Valley Inn.
Welcome to Story County, where history meets innovation, and a pioneering spirit continues to shape our future. At the heart of the Tahoe Reno Industrial Center, we power the future with global leaders in technology and manufacturing, driving progress that reaches far beyond our county lines. From advanced manufacturing to tech innovation, our industries are creating thousands of quality careers, fueling a vibrant economy that benefits every Nevadan. But it's more than just growth. Our community is our foundation, supporting families, empowering local initiatives, and creating a place where everyone belongs. Be part of a legacy built on bold ideas and boundless possibilities. Join us in building a brighter future right here in Story County. Story County, helping build Nevada's future.
This is Nevada Newsmakers.
And back on Nevada Newsmakers, we continue our conversation with Kris Thompson, Jim Gee, and Naomi Duerr. You had some thoughts here.
I do. So what the Tri-Center did was really what's called concurrency, which is that they built the infrastructure while they were building out the buildings. And this is done throughout the country, but not as widely as it should be. We can learn a lot from this in the Reno Sparks area by requiring building rail or roads or all the needs while you're building the thing. It's, again, called concurrency. It's something we really should take a look at.
And also being expedient with permitting.
Yes, of course.
Which was also genius. And North Las Vegas was smart enough to copy it. Jim, just one other quick thing to you. Lowering the speed limit on I-80, wouldn't that help with the accidents? Because that's the complaint I hear the most.
Maybe, but regardless of the speed limit, at the end of the day, there are still too many cars on I-80 going to work at the Tri-Center. We need more solutions to get people that live here in Reno to work out there.
All right, and that's where we have to leave it. This is a lot of good information for folks in Southern Nevada concerning Apex as well. I thank you all for being here. Great discussion. Great. We'll be right back.
Welcome to the Ahern Boutique Hotel, where luxury and warmth come together in the heart of Las Vegas.
We take pride in offering a one-of-a-kind experience for both locals and tourists.
Join us for handcrafted cocktails and an unforgettable experience. Joel's Chop House, the perfect place to savor views of the Las Vegas Strip.
Satisfy your cravings at the Ahern Chocolate Shop.
No smoking, no resort fees, and the parking is always free. The Ahern Luxury Boutique Hotel is your home away from home.
Each day, the Children's Advocacy Alliance partners with leaders, legislators, and families across Nevada to improve children's health, education, economic well-being, and safety. We recognize Nevada will be no better than the state of its children. Be a part of this change. Be a supporter of the Children's Advocacy Alliance. For more information, go to caanv.org.
Imagine a magical garden that feeds Carson City's hungry and homeless, teaches our high school students agriculture, creates hanging floral displays to beautify downtown, and yet charges nothing. It's not magic. It's the Greenhouse Project. It's real, it's growing, and it needs your help. Go online to carsоncitygreenhouse.org so together we can grow it forward.
The trucking industry is the most resilient link in the supply chain. And for over 90 years, the Nevada Trucking Association has been the voice for the men and women in the trucking industry. From Carson City to Washington, D.C., we advocate for policies to protect our trucking companies and keep commerce flowing. Because Nevada's and America's prosperity is tied to trucks. There's nothing without trucking.
Check out our archives section on NevadaNewsmakers.com. Great interviews going back as far as 2002. Really worth watching. We'll see you on the next broadcast.